Oh, yeah. I'm a man of my word. The O's are on a winning streak. 4 in a row. After tonight's 5-1 win over the Seattle Mariners, it's floppy hat time. This is the Baltimore Orioles postcast.
This is the Orioles postcast. Your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome on in, everyone. It is past midnight here, 12:20 live on YouTube, and it is the Locked On Orioles postcast. As always, my name is Luke Slabaugh, and I'm your host for every Baltimore Orioles game that we can muster this season. This is part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's bonus content in complement to Connor Newcomb's 5 days a week episodes. It's a late one, as the O's are out on the West Coast as part of a 6-game road trip, and there's a lot to like. The O's are on a 4-game win streak, their longest of the season. They are now 500 in the Tony Mansolino era, 8-8, and 13 games under 500 as they look to build a brand of winning baseball and claw back, win as many games as they can, and get the team back on track. Big talking point tonight before this 5-1 win over the AL West leading Seattle Mariners was that Colton Cowser was back in the lineup. The outfielder broke his left thumb 4 games into the 2025 campaign, and it's been noted that the O's had a .590 winning percentage with Colton since his debut and just a tick under 500 without him. So welcoming him back was a welcome addition.
This is what you'll be talking about.
And in dramatic fashion, a good clubhouse guy, good glue guy in Colton Cowser goes yard in his first game back with the Orioles. We go top 6. Right-hander Edward Bizardo is in, relieving George Kirby, and Colton Cowser's leading off the frame. 1-1 count, gets a fastball over the plate, running outside, and Colton, with his great opposite field power, hits it over the left field fence on a line drive. His second home run of the year, and a 3-1 lead for the Baltimore Orioles. They would not look back. Cowser's first at-bat came with the O's already ahead, 1-0 on a sac fly by Ramon Urias. Urias' 31st birthday, by the way, today. And Cowser's first at-bat back in the top of the first worked pretty well, and it kind of grinded my gears a little bit. Colton was out 3-0 ahead of right-hander George Kirby, and then gets a fastball over the heart of the plate and fouls it back. Gets the green light, his first plate appearance back as an Oriole, in an inning already where you're getting Kirby close to 30 pitches and you've already driven in a run. You got to hand off the baton to Kobe Mayo there. No harm, no fouls. He gets another chance. The second pitch would have been ball 4. Fouled it off as well. Eventually, Cowser works an 8-pitch at-bat, and he flies out to the center fielder Julio Rodriguez to end the inning. So, all in all, okay. Cowser finishes the day 1 for 4, with the big damage being that home run. It is great to see Cowser back because originally, manager Brandon Hyde, remember him, saw fit to put Colton in the leadoff spot when Gunnar Henderson was dealing with some side issues and was on the IL to start the year, doing some rehab down in Norfolk. Cowser sees a lot of pitches, and he has some on-base skills, has some power, runs the bases well. Pretty much a guy you would want at the top of your lineup. Jackson Holliday has taken over the leadoff spot and done it excellently the last couple of weeks. You could, ideally, stack Holliday and Cowser 1-2. However, you run into the issue mid-innings or even later when opposing managers start tweaking with their bullpens and trying to figure out matchups. Stacking 2 left-handers next to each other probably would be less than ideal. So Cowser hits middle to the bottom part of the lineup, and it works for interim manager Tony Mansolino in this 5-1 win over the Seattle Mariners. It's worth noting that Cowser moved to right field in the 9th inning with Dylan Carlson in left and Jordan Adams taking over center field. He pinch ran for Heston Kjerstad in the top of the 9th. Heston Kjerstad, by the way, right after that Cowser home run. Walks. Now, it's not lost on me. Connor Newcomb's already recorded an episode for tomorrow specifically about fixing Heston Kjerstad and Adley Rutschman, among others, on the Orioles roster. I've already listened to it. You should check it out in the morning if you haven't already. It's a good one and well worth the listen. But the irony is not lost on me that in an episode coming out that's already been recorded about fixing Adley and Heston, Rutsch gets 3 hits tonight. His first multi-hit game since he hit that game-winning home run in Milwaukee, that 3-run homer. And then Kjerstad hits an RBI double to the right center field gap in the top of the ninth. His first pitch cutter low and in, scores Kobe Mayo, made it a 4-1 ball game. They take him out, put Jordan Adams in there to pinch run. Thank goodness you get Heston off the base paths. And Jackson Holliday adds an RBI single to center field, forcing fastball over the plate against right-hander Colin Snyder. Look at all the ex-Royals, kind of the bullpen castaways that are on this Mariners team. The O's go 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position on the evening, which is actually 3 for 9 with all the final stats and numbers in here, which is actually a welcome improvement from the Orioles that we had seen in the weeks prior. And ever since Mancelino took over and now John Mabry involved with the club, 4-0 since he was hired, by the way. Running out of breath here after midnight. Guess who got the first 2 hits with runners in scoring position? Ryan O'Hearn. And unfortunately, the O's were kind of a station-to-station ball club there in the top of the first. Adley singled, hits a curveball opposite field. Gunnar singles to shortstop, which was kind of borderline fringe and error. J.P. Crawford kind of in and out of the glove, but he was coasting past second base going onto the right field side there. So questionable whether or not he would have thrown Gunnar out. And O'Hearn singles to right field. Rutschman is held with Buck Britton pretty much standing on home plate, throwing the stop sign. But no harm, no foul as Ramon Urias hits a sac fly next batter to right. Gets an RBI on his birthday. Love that. And Rutschman books it home. Sprints and makes it a 1-0 ball game. Adley was active on the base paths and did a pretty good job. You know, when the hamstring bug is hitting a lot of these players, it's good to see that Adley held his own for a while. So O'Hearn had that risp single that didn't result in an RBI as Rutschman was held, and prudently so. You don't want to run into an out there. And then again, in the top of the 5th, Adley singles up the middle, Gunnar singles to right field off of a diving Rowdy Tellez. Adley advances to third on that. And then O'Hearn, inside fastball, banks it up the middle on a 2-1, makes it 2-1. Part of a 21-pitch inning against right-hander George Kirby. And that was a great sign because it almost seemed like the O's were about to let Kirby settle in. That inning ended kind of brutally. Urias hits a liner off of Kirby's mouth. Kind of deflects off his chin. Tellez fields it to end the inning. It's 103 off the bat, and you see a kind of a line of blood dripping down from Kirby as he was lifted. Not entirely sure of his status right now. However, hope he's doing okay. He should get an assist on that play, by the way. It was, 5 solid innings for Kirby. The O's worked him the first couple frames, which was good, but by far Kirby's best outing of the year. 5 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. The stuff's playing for sure. His command had kind of been spotty in his first 2 outings of the year. Coming up, we're going to reveal our player of the game. Go ahead right now in the comment section. Let me know who you think it was. We got a pretty good idea. Whoever was on the bump for the O's tonight had to twirl a gem to keep this thing close in the middle frames. Excellent outing by Tomoyuki Sugano. O'Hearn, of course, 2 hits with runners in scoring position. Colton Cowser, back from the left thumb fracture. We're also going to go through some injury updates that interim manager Tony Mancelino gave to reporters there in the Pacific Northwest before the game. We'll look ahead to tomorrow's matchup as well, as it's O's After Dark We're approaching 12:30 here on the Orioles Postcast. As always, this is streamed live on YouTube. If you're watching this the day after on the replay, if you're listening in the car, trying to get a recap, your fix of O's baseball, this is definitely a truncated version. I want to say thank you for joining me wherever you are and whenever you are. But right now, we got to take some ads talking about a 5-1 win for the Baltimore Orioles over the Seattle Mariners. Stick with us. Always good to see these new sponsor banners here on the channel. You remember, I was talking last week, I thought I was doing a show with a nosebleed incoming the entire time. If I had just gone to Supply House, it would not have been a big deal. You can get a humidifier at Supply House, and with the summer months coming up, you can get a dehumidifier at Supply House. Now, millennial that I am, condo, home ownership, all this stuff, Supply House is going to be in my corner, and it can be in yours as well. It's the site made for the skilled trades, plumbing, HVAC, electrical. You can get all the products you want in those fields online. Website is cleanly formatted, easy to use. Inventory's got over 200K parts and 400 plus top brands. So you're going to find what you need guaranteed. Also offers expert support. Supply House does with industry leading service. You're always going to talk to a real person. And for pros looking for an extra edge, they have a free Trade Master program, which has exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled pros are already taking advantage. I post to you, this is a good time to get in on it. Summer months, things like this can pop up here and there. I've already got a utilities issue that's been going on for a week that I don't really want to talk about, but it's laundry related. We'll figure it out. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM. Start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use the promo code SH5. SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. This show also brought to you by Monarch Money. They've been with us for a while, and we've all been there with all these side quests that we got going on. Memorial Day weekend passed. Perhaps we're celebrating Ramon Urias' birthday. The money disappears. And that's where Monarch Money comes in to be, in other words, a personal CFO, full control and visibility over your finances. It budgets, but it's not just for budgeting. It is what they would call a complete financial command center. All your accounts, investments, spending in one place, one app. So the focus is not just on managing your money and following a budget, but growing your wealth. And that's what Monarch Money is good for. And if you've got a partner, if you got a girlfriend, Lord knows I don't, but if you've got all these things, perhaps you're sharing an account with a very trusted spin coach, spin class instructor. Maybe we're doing that soon. You can set goals with them. You can stay on the same page without the stress. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. The code is locked on MLB, all one word, locked on MLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Monarchmoney.com, code locked on MLB for half off your first year.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Tomoyuki Sugano owns Cal Raleigh. Owns him. Owned the Mariners tonight. What are we talking about here? 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 5 hits, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. Tomo was on fire. It's always a good night when the O's win and you have multiple candidates for player of the game. Tomo carved them. Like, this was a shove-it. A lot's been made about Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh. He is on pace for 64 home runs this season. That would shatter the major league record set by a catcher. Salvador Perez hit 49 a couple years ago. And Salvi's amazing. Salvi will get Hall of Fame votes. And you've had the Mike Piazzas of the world, Javi Lopez, and then whoever you want to count during the fast and free 90s where chicks dug the long ball and all that nonsense. Every time Raleigh was at the plate, Raleigh, excuse me. It's a cowboy name, isn't it? Cal Raleigh. He was bamboozled, and not just by Sugano, even in the ninth as well against Bautista, first pitch swinging. However, we'll go through these sequences in order. Bottom second, Raleigh strikes out, splitter low from the right-hander Tomoyuki Sugano. Next time up for Raleigh. Gets him to fly out to center field. Colton Cowser, a low splitter as well. That was bottom four. Raleigh reaching down a little bit low and out of the zone. And then in the bottom of the sixth, Sugano working with traffic. It was tentative. It was a tenuous, stressful situation. You have singles by J.P. Crawford and Jorge Polanco. He struck out Julio Rodriguez looking on 3 pitches, got him on a splitter inside, and then works outside with the splitter, gets Raleigh to hit into a 4-6-3 double play. Holiday to Henderson to O'Hearn. There were some really good highlights from Sugano. He did pitch well with traffic. He was composed. He didn't let mistakes compound. The only time that things really felt tense was when he gave up that home run to Rowdy Tellez. Hanging breaking ball, made it a 1-1 ball game. That was with 2 outs in the second. That was after he struck out Raleigh on the splitter low. And then Randy Arozarena grounded out. This great backhand pick by Gunnar Henderson. So all the momentum is on the O's side. And then Tellez hits a home run and Sugano walks the next batter. And you started to see the shades of the Orioles in mid to late April. It was part of a 24-pitch second inning for Sugano. Credit to him, however. He got out of it. And there were some great highlights. The bottom of the fifth, an 8-pitch inning for Sugano. And you could argue he could have gotten out of that on 2 or 3 pitches fewer. He started out on a 3-0 count to Leody Taveras. And those first 2 balls were strikes. That home plate umpire, Brennan Miller, generally speaking, I don't want to throw umpires under the bus unless it's egregious. There were some calls tonight that if the O's had lost or if some momentum had swung the other way, probably would have been upset. Probably would have gone in a little bit hard. Sugano throws 58 of his 90 pitches for strikes. And that's another thing, too. Carving through this Mariners division-leading team, carving through that lineup, 90 pitches through 7 innings. The ERA now stands at 3.04 for Sugano. I had mentioned in an episode previous that he would probably need a lights-out June to get serious all-star consideration. This is that. This is an auspicious and great start to the month for Tomo, and also the Rookie of the Year conversation. First-year player. He has been everything that the O's have asked and then some. First couple outings were a little bit, getting his bearings. However, he has been a model of consistency since then, and well-deserving of player of the game. Wonderful performance from Tomoyuki Sugano. Got to see some great comeback effort by Brian Baker as well. Gives up 2 singles in the 8th and then fights back, gets Julio Rodriguez swinging. And again, the pitch before that strikeout pitch, it was a changeup right there above the knees, and Brennan Miller's like, nope. Do you see what I see? Good Lord. That's pretty much, everything. Bottom of the third, got a good double play ball. O'Hearn turning it to Henderson, and then Sugano covering first base, got Jorge Polanco to ground out into a double play. This was excellent. You can't really come up with one turning point in this game because every time the Mariners started to creep back in this, Tomo was on it like white on rice. We'll go through some of the injury updates that interim manager Tony Mansolino gave to reporters out there in Seattle. Roccabato reporting for Masson. Jordan Westberg's been out since late April. It's been a while, right? With the hamstring injury. He played tonight for Norfolk. Freudian slip there, excuse me. And he'll get a game in there tomorrow. and then be evaluated after the fact. Ramon Laureano also expected to play in Norfolk tomorrow for the Tides. He's been out since May 21st with that ankle injury he sustained in Milwaukee. And Tyler O'Neill, out since May 16th with a shoulder injury, could begin rehab for the Tides this weekend. All of a sudden, you're starting to see this O's team get healthy and see some production out of the plate. Adley Rutschman had a great game. 3 for 5, 2 runs scored. Again, definitely tune into the show tomorrow with Connor. It's a good one about fixing the O's fixing the O's struggles at the plate. And yeah, we've gone through everything here. We're going to wrap this up here as we trudge into Wednesday morning. The bucket hat is on, as is the rule on the show. 3 or more win streak. It's now 4 wins in a row for the Baltimore Orioles. It's 5-1 over the Seattle Mariners. Good night. Stay safe. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow night.